I'm RACER's Marshall Pruett. We are here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on a Thursday for the one and only Indy 500 Open Test. All of our coverage brought to us by Pennzoil. They've been doing pioneering things in advancing engine oil for 110 years. We're going to look at the technical things that have changed, the aerodynamic things that have changed for this year's Indy 500. Really cool if we look at the safety aspect of things along the sides of the car, starting at the nose. Here we are on Graham Rahal's car. We've added stability wickers. What are those? Going in a straight line, not a problem. But obviously, if we start to get into a bit of a spin, anything where rotation and yaw starts to come into play here when you're going 230 plus miles an hour. Obviously, the air is going to start tripping over the sides of the car. And with the rounded shape of these Indy cars, every aspect of them contoured for the wind, the minute we start to get the cars in yaw a little bit sideways, that air coming over starts to lift. Air likes curvature. Curvature is something that gets lifted and picked up. So to prevent cars from taking off, there are a number of things that have been done over the years in the name of safety to prevent that, but one new thing innovated by IndyCar and Dallara are these stability wickers. So these little thin items move along to the side pods here, Romain Grosjean's car, all the way to the rear tire ramps, rear wheel ramps. You see that these little stability wickers, when turned sideways, going into that wind, that will trip the air, disturb the air, hinder its ability to lift the car. So yet again, just another cool thing, try and keep the cars safe and on the ground. The biggest change for this year at the Indy 500, new rear wing pillars. And this might be the least sexy thing you can imagine, just two vertical pieces of carbon fiber. But those new pillars, in addition to the really ornate structure that they're mounted to, all teams have to do is use a little speed handle on this nut, and each team has little markings they place to let the crew know whether you're turning it in the direction that will increase rear wing angle or decrease rear wing angle. But these new rear wing pillars allow teams to add 3 more degrees of wing angle and downforce. This is more for race running. We're not going to see the wings getting tipped upwards and creating a lot of downforce in qualifying or qualifying sims, but come race running, running in packs, doing things, getting ready for the race, and in the race itself, you will see teams using these new pillars that will allow more rear wing angle, more downforce to secure the rear of the car. Also on top here, you'll see, this is Agustin Canapino's car, going to be doing his rookie test. They've piled on tons of downforce to make the car really secure for him. That's why we see at the top of the wing here, a gurney flap just to add a little bit more downforce. If you move to the sides of the car, we're sticking with Agustin's. Another option here as well. Last year introduced a single barge board, just adds more downforce towards the front of the car. Now have an option for a second one. And yet again, with the theme of max downforce for Agustin to feel comfort, they have both. You'll see some teams running none. It's an option. Use as many or as few as you want. The more you use, though, the more sensitive the ride height, the front ride height of the car is, falling in and out of that perfect balance window with ride height. So not everything's a perfectly clean addition, no drawbacks whatsoever. We go to the back of the car again, we have strakes fit into the diffuser coming from the underwing here. That helps channel the air, make more downforce yet again. This is something we're talking about race day, race type running. Also the sidewalls, right? We can take those off. They're trimmed versions, various lengths. Here we see yet again a high downforce configuration with the full-length sidewalls running from the top of the diffuser on down, plus the strakes on the inside. Just walking up and down pit lane, you can tell what each team is trying to do with their entries based on the amount of things you see attached on the cars or removed. You know the Aero configuration, therefore, whether they're working on race running, driver confidence, or qualifying type sims. So where we can go up to a maximum of 5 positive degrees on the rear wing, no changes to the front wing rules, front wing allowances, nothing new that can be added here on Joseph Newgarden's car. We see the wing adjuster itself, some front wing extensions in place which can go on or off, but no real changes, no changes at all, to be honest, in the front of the Indy cars for this year's Indy 500.